figure of speech, an idiom, a colloquialism, an expression. There are many ways to verbally illustrate the perpetual mechanisms of crisis response among the people. Whether in response to a saber-toothed feline attack, the irrational actions of a demented emperor, or a global plague, there are 3 categories of reaction. I'll break them down on Here's a Thing. Regardless of the nature of the pressure point or the cultural stressor, the reactions are as predictable as pollen in the spring and fall into 3 general categories. You have never let a crisis go to waste. Oh dear God, the sky is falling, get out of my way. And how can we make the best of this predicament? No matter the exigency, no matter the era, this is human nature. You know what I say about the kinds of people in this world: wolves, sheep, sheepdogs, and turd weasels. During the early stage of our current global posture and disposition vis-a-vis the end of the world as we know it, compliments to Michael Stipe et al., we see the featuring of a few cultural factions. Think of society like a giant bar during a happy hour on Friday. Crisis, stress, emergency, they're like alcohol. And much like your favorite watering hole has a far different ambiance at 9 p.m. than it has at 4 p.m., the world looks much different during times of increased friction than during afternoons spent gathering daffodils. You've looked around at the bar when the hour grows late. It ain't pretty, is it? Alcohol is not a social panacea for elevated discourse and comportment. Alcohol does not, in fact, make you more charming and composed. It doesn't change you at all. Alcohol takes your innate amalgam, your core, your essence, and puts it on stage under a 10 billion candle power spotlight. Stressors, crises, and emergencies have the same effect. Take a look around today and tell me what you see. Turn on any television or activate any information platform and you will be overwhelmed with the best tailored clothing and coiffed hair your tax dollars can buy, offering comfort and relief for the low, low price of your liberty. This belly-crawling invertebrate gutter snipe is the politician turd weasel of the act. You see, they don't pull the strings of control. They're attached to the strings held by the wolves. They are the dancing puppet in the magical metaphorical stage performance of I'm here to help. All they need is your compliance. The terrifying conundrum is that it becomes increasingly more difficult to resist when a parent grows more concerned about feeding the family. There's real and there's real, you know? This is the kind of person, this turd weasel, this invertebrate gutter snipe, who will say, never let a crisis go to waste. After all, what better time to hammer the world into the shape of the wolves' wicked agenda? They would be nothing without the sheep, however. For what existence could a predator live without its prey? And so you have the sheepdogs. Remember, the universe demands balance. The sheepdogs are the members of society who toil in obscurity. After all, who wants to watch videos of decent people doing everyday decent things when there is oh so much absolute delicious depravity to peddle? The sheepdog is boring, terribly unglamorous, and can rarely be found preening in front of a camera lens. The sheepdog is nothing more than the guy out at first light with a chainsaw and the pickup truck after a hurricane. The sheepdog is the owner of the local pizza joint who puts together assemble-at-home pizza kits for pickup at the front door of the shop when an emergency closes the dining room. The sheepdog is the working musician who puts on a live concert for you through the freedom of digital media. And the sheepdog has always been the soldier, sailor, airman, and marine who stand the watch at the pointy end of the spear to keep the wolf at bay. There are wolves, sheep, and sheepdogs in this world, ladies and gentlemen. Which are you? Are you a manipulator, a pearl clutcher, or a leader? There is no doubt that the resolution of any crisis will come down to which type of leader you are or which type of leader you follow. Plainly stated, your sound judgment or lack thereof will determine the denouement. If you rely on someone else to make this decision for you, enjoy grazing in the pretty pasture. Well, that's enough to ponder for now. Turn off your TVs, delete Twitter, and go support local businesses. This episode of the podcast is dedicated to the problem solvers, leaders, and people of action. Audentis Fortuna Uwat. Here's the Thing can be found on the Podbean app. Here's the Thing at podbean.com, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and lots of other places in the podcast universe. For virtually effortless podcast enjoyment in your home or on the go, simply ask your disembodied AI robot servant to play Here's a Thing from your preferred podcast consumption platform. Episodes will also be posted on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Search everywhere for Here's a Thing. Please subscribe, rate, and review. Your active support is critical, so click that button. It only takes a moment to make a difference. Become a patron and donate to the cause by following the show link. patron.podbean.com/Here's a Thing, or by clicking the little $ or the Become a Patron button on the Here's a Thing episode page of your Podbean app. Many thanks to new patrons Meredith, Carol, and Melina. And welcome to the family, Kansas, Illinois, Isle of Man, and India. So glad to have you. Thanks for your time and devotion to reason. Let's keep growing the family. Share the show with a friend. Whatever you're about to do, get after it 100% or don't bother the rest of us. You owe that to yourself because integrity matters. If you can't be anything else today, be authentic. It will pay off. Postscript, my deepest apologies for the iffy audio quality today. I will record in a different room from now on. Damn coronavirus.
Hi guys, this is Macy speaking. Thank you for joining my father in his amazing podcast. This is the end of it. Bye. I cracked myself up.